Zerafel, you don't need to wear the headphones. I'm monitoring the sound right here on the computer.
But I like them. They make my ears feel all cozy and protected.
Suit yourself.
Oh, your voice sounds lovely all up close like that.
Well, anyway.
It's a New Craze by At the Border, performed by the Nice and Accurate Theater. Episode 1.
Welcome to the inaugural episode of The Ineffable Plan, an advice show for the post-apocalyptic era.
I just want to point out that this whole thing was your idea, Crowley. You know so, people are aware. Credit where credit is due and all.
Of course it was my idea. Until last week you thought podcasting was a farming technique.
Not an unreasonable assumption to make, given the etymological implications. Anyway, I'm Aziraphale, and this is my associate, Anthony J. Crowley.
Thanks to recent events, we found ourselves with quite a bit of spare time on our hands.
We are very qualified to give advice on people problems.
Perhaps the most qualified of all time.
We've really been around.
Shall we get into it?
Indeed. Right here. Here are the letters I've received. Let's see.
What? You had people sending letters? When you said you sent them on mailbox, I thought you meant email.
This shall do nicely to start us off. Question 1. This is from Andrea and Hackney. Hello, my dear. And she says, I live in a ground floor flat and I work the night shift, so I get home really late. My upstairs neighbor has taken to playing EDM at extremely loud volumes early in the morning, I assume, to accompany some kind of body weight workout, because there's a sound of something heavy hitting the floor over and over as well. It's ruining my sleep schedule and making me unproductive at work. How do I end this torment?
Well, first of all, Andrea, are you sure you've not done anything to deserve said torment?
Crowley, that isn't advice.
Fine. This is an easy one. Here's what you do. When you get home from your shift, grab a knife, shimmy up the drain pipe, get the window open, and sneak into the upstairs flat. Cut the cables to the subwoofers, pitch the weights down the window, then climb back down and sleep soundly.
I hardly think any of that will be necessary. All you need to do is climb a flight of stairs, knock on their door, and have a polite face-to-face conversation regarding their disruptive activities.
And what if they laugh in her face and say, "It's my apartment, I can do what I want"? Then what'll she do? It's not going to be as simple as, "Hello, goodbye, thank you." I know how these people are. No, this issue demands direct action.
I see what you're trying to do, Crowley, you wily serpent, but I refuse to endorse breaking and entering on a radiophonic program meant for public consumption.
Podcast, it's a podcast.
Have you considered that the neighbor might be going through some personal difficulties and is trying to make a lifestyle change for their own benefit?
Hey, Andrea, have you got speakers? You can play even worse music, even louder.
Andrea, if you just wait a little while longer, surely they will just give up on their self-improvement regimen, which is the end result of most similar resolutions.
Andrea, you could slide a threatening note under their door, one with the little magazine letters cut out.
Oh dear. Is every episode going to be like this?
Episode 3.
This one is from James in Bath. He wants to know, Crowley, what does the J stand for?
Wouldn't you like to know?
That settles it then. I'm sure nobody else has to send in that question ever again, now would they?
Is there a fail?
Madam Tracy Draws Aside the Veil is now available for bookings. Experience the mysteries of the other side with me as your guide. Clients have called my events transporting and surprising and worth almost every pound. I'm now on Instagram at Madam Tracy London. Book now for exclusive rates and first pick of spirit encounters.
Episode 4.
This one is from Tina in Portsmouth. She wants to know, Crowley, what does the J stand for?
Angel, I will discorporate you.
It's a simple question.
Stands for Jessica.
Episode 5.
Jelly bean.
6.
Jingle bells.
7.
Jorts.
8.
Juliet.
9.
Janthony.
10.
Gender.
But that starts with a...
Does it?
Episode 11.
Didn't we see the original run on Broadway?
It was the West End, yeah?
Was it? No, it was New York. You wore that lovely red puffer jacket.
Oh god, that thing was horrid.
Everything becomes horrid for you after 10 years of owning it. I don't see how that...
Hold on! What was the original question? The one that we were supposed to be answering?
My, I've forgotten. Something about furniture? Does it matter?
Nah.
Anyway, it was definitely Broadway.
Tumblr user Margarine of Error writes, Okay, thanks to a million posts on my dash about it, I've finally given in and started listening to the Ineffable Plan podcast. And it's just as amazing as everyone said. I'm dying laughing. But IDK if there's something wrong with me because I honest to God am 10 episodes in and cannot figure out if the hosts are real guys or if they're just playing characters. There's like a lot going on. Someone help me, Lamau. User 15 Fears replies, No, LMFAO. I love when people think this, but they're real dudes. My dad actually worked with Crowley at one point. The guy used to be some kind of London business cryptid, one of those independent consultants who'd come in and fuck everything up. Iconic, TBH. His old website is still up.
AnthonyJCrowley.com/consulting.
User Electra Heart replies, Yep, chiming in to confirm they're actual regular people. I've been to Aziraphale's bookstore in London, but that was before the podcast started when I was studying abroad there. I only realized he was that Aziraphale when Crowley was teasing him in the last episode about his ridiculous shop hours, and I was like, oh, lol, that makes sense. Episode 12.
Okay, next question.
Oh, how delightful.
Whoa, what is it?
Crowley, we have our very first complaint.
Get that here!
Hey, I do the reading.
No, please let me read this. It's too good.
Very well.
This one is from Harold in Cambridge, who says, I appreciate your commitment to the bit, as it were, but as a PhD candidate in Irish history at Cambridge, I couldn't help but cringe continuously through your story in episode 10 about the Battle of Clontarf. If you're going to be playing up this whole immortality joke. You really ought to be doing proper research. All contemporary scholarships suggest that Brian Boru was killed while at rest, praying in his tent. It would have taken a miracle at his age to get him up and fighting as you describe.
And maybe it did.
And additionally, Gormflaith goading the Vikings into attacking the Irish is a pseudo-historical myth. There is nothing to evidence she ever convinced his son Sigtrygg to go to war against Boru. I don't know, Harold. You seemed pretty enthusiastic about the idea when I suggested it. We were both fairly off-eyed on mead at the time, so I suppose we'll never really know.
Dear me, we better not breathe a word about Cahokia if this is the sort of thing we're in for.
Nor the Queen of Sheba.
Or the King's men. Would really be ashamed to be set upon by anti-Stratfordians.
Vicious buggers.
Utter twats. An intelligent, shameful elitist.
Do keep going.
I better not.
Episode 15.
If you really want to wind them up, might I suggest taking the time to empty out all of the Splendor packets. Replace their contents with garlic powder and carefully glue them shut again before putting them back in his coffee tray. Never met a problem a good old condiment surprise couldn't solve.
First of all, don't do that, Andrew. Second of all, Crowley, garlic powder isn't a condiment, it's a seasoning.
What? That's ridiculous. If it goes on food after it's done cooking, it's a condiment.
You are sorely mistaken, my dear. It's a spice. That's a completely separate category.
No, it isn't!
Anyway, what would you know about the finer details of culinary preparation?
Excuse you, I spent a decade as a galley cook on a Spanish galleon traversing the Atlantic. You'd be shocked to see what I can do with a hunk of salted pork.
A pirate ship? Not exactly cordon bleu.
Says the man who's not prepared his own food since the Peloponnesian War.
It's just better when when other people make it.
What's about harder? I don't think our listeners can hear it through their speakers quite yet. There you go. Anyway, garlic powder is in fact a condiment. And one which you should
it not
replace your terrible boss's terrible splendor with. And make sure you've got an unobstructed line of sight to him when he starts drinking it. Maybe try and get it on camera. Try not to make a habit of gratitude, but I must give our appreciation to everyone out there who's been listening and subscribing to the Ineffable Plan.
Oh, yes, we've become quite popular, haven't we?
Yeah, just hit number 8 on the advice charts. No advertising at all.
How miraculous.
Zero-fail. You did not.
It's just, you worked so hard on putting it all together, my dear. I thought it would be a shame if it all ended up flying under the radar, so I just gave it a little push, as it were. Why are you looking at me like that?
Thank you.
Yes, quite. No problem at all.
At Keldivine tweets, any other At Ineffable Pod listeners desperately trying to figure out if the hosts are actually a couple or just best friends with really great banter? At Phoebe Loop 13 replies, oh my fucking god, I thought I was the only one, like, gay or European? At Pretzel Baby replies, Guys, can we please not at them in personal speculation like this? It's really invasive and rude. At Phoebe Loop 13 replies, they literally call each other Angel and my dear. I don't think it's rude to, have ears. Episode 16.
Listeners, you can't see it, but trust me when I say Crowley is sporting a terrible goatee. My dear boy, I rather thought you'd given up on that sort of thing.
Changes in the air. I had to outdo that fetching ear piercing of yours somehow.
Oh, you noticed? I thought I'd...
Don't flatter yourself. I've been meaning to do this for a while.
Well, I don't like it.
And when have I ever cared what you like?
Oh, I don't know. Since Rome? First time we dined together. And you only tried the oysters because I described in great detail how much I enjoyed them. Dearest listeners, please feel free to chime in with your personal opinions on Crowley's new facial hair. You can send your comments to the usual address.
No, please! They don't even know what it looks like! How is that even fair?
I'll be posting a photo on the, Instantgram.
I know you don't know how to do that.
I will make it so that a photo has been posted.
Let's just get on with the advice.
Very well. Here we are from Mina in Manchester. She asks, I work in a large office where the dress code is fairly business formal. I'm one of the only women on my floor, and during the summer, all the men are still in suits, so the aircon is cranked up to maximum. My teeth start chattering, and I get such bad goosebumps I can hardly concentrate on my analysis. They won't let me have a blanket out at my desk, but they also won't budge on the temperature. What do I do? Oh, how terrible! Central Air is supposed to be one of ours. Look how it's being perverted.
Oh, hey, aren't we trying to stop doing that? Saying ours like we're still...
Oh, right. Old habits, you know.
Of course, yeah, I get it.
Anyway, Mina, you sound like a wonderfully competent young lady. Perhaps your skills would be better served at a company with better commitment to equitable gender balance and a more respectful approach to temperature control.
Mina, I think you should start wearing a full suit to work. Bet you look great.
At Una May tweets, starting a petition to please make Azerfail and Crowley from at Ineffable Pod my new parents. The ones I have are trash, so yep, guys, you're my dads now. At Ineffable Pod replies,
Una May, it's past your bedtime, new child of mine. Go to sleep. Also, it's Azerfail.
At Una May replies, LMFAO, as soon as I got this notification, the light in my bedroom went off. Crowley, what you doing? Episode 17.
Look, movie theaters are meant to be snuck into. I would know. I invented the overpriced cinema ticket to encourage that sort of thing.
I shudder to ask when the last time you actually paid to see a film was, Crowley.
Probably Pacific Rim. Oh, you wouldn't like it. Although there is a character who... Look, never mind. Besides, when was the last time you bought a ticket to anything? Don't you just, waltz right in there, pull a Ritz and bump someone miraculously out of their seat, you shameless bastard?
For your information, I have very good standing relationships with box office managers and head waiters. I hardly ever have to resort to miracles these days. That was a special occasion. I would never...
Hey, I was complimenting you. I like it when you get what you want. Anyway, Jeremy, I'm telling you that yes, you should consider it your moral duty to avoid paying for movies made by international entertainment conglomerate.
But you'll feel bad about doing it, though. Think about that.
No, you might not. Think about that.
At Mr. HK Yoon tweets, really highly recommend subscribing to @IneffablePod for anyone who wants to walk around feeling like they have their own personal angel and devil sitting on their shoulders at all times. Great stuff, guys. Episode 18.
Got a new segment today, guys. Not my idea. Zerafael wanted to spice up our usual advice routine with an external contribution.
Hi, guys. Cute setup you've got here. Crowley, your place has such an amazing view.
Does it? I hadn't noticed.
Let's give a warm welcome to Miss Anathema Device, who's going to be reading her lovely horoscopes on today's episode.
Can we just get this over with?
All right. First up, Aries, your fly is down. Taurus, there's a test tomorrow. Gemini, drink some water. Your throat is dry. Cancer, if you have one, listen to your sugar daddy this month. Hey, Leo, fuck it. Steal an apple. Live a little. Virgo, see a therapist. If that doesn't work, see a priest. Immediately. Listen, Libra, even if you think it is, it's not your fault. Scorpio, don't forget about that appointment you made. My fellow Sagittarians, your glasses have been broken for weeks. Just get a new pair. Capricorn, get off your phone. You need to chill. Everything's fine. Trust me. Aquarius, your mom is worried about you. Give them a call. And for all you Pisces out there, if you have any asparagus in your fridge, throw it away. It went bad yesterday.
Amazing. Bravo.
Hey, Aziraphale, what's your sign?
Oh, dear me. I've never really thought about that before.
You don't even have a birthday, Angel.
Nonsense. I arrived on Earth just like anyone else, didn't I? Let's see, it was a few days after. I suppose it must have been... Yes, let's say the 24th of October.
A Libra Scorpio cusp? Wow, yeah, duh. Of course. And you, Crowley?
No. I will not participate in this mockery. It's bad enough having you on my podcast to dispense your homeopathic nonsense, not how stars and planets work at all.
But didn't you invent astrology?
What? That's not... I helped popularize it, Angel. And that was just to make men on the internet mad.
Your birthday, let's see. It must have been June, wasn't it? I remember Eve was about 7 months expecting when you popped up.
6th of June.
Sorry?
Speak up, my dear.
6th of June.
Oh, of course. How fitting. That means every 100 years you get.
Yes, I know. What are the wretched chances?
I think it's cute.
I regret everything.
So you're a Gemini. Got it. Now I can do a compatibility reading for the two of you.
There's really no
Dear
need.
girl, don't trouble yourself with such trifles.
Too late.
At Lepidoptosaur tweets, me going crazy trying to figure out the storyline/mythology of @IneffablePod, like
Charlie Kelly Pepe Sylvia.png.
At Olfactory Mess replies, Right? I'm obsessed. Like, it's just a regular, hilarious bros giving advice pod, but then they drop in references to being alive in the 1700s, and I'm like, eh? At Lepidopterosaur replies, "It's gonna send me over the edge. Are we sure it's not an ARG or something? I mean, these ads about joining the Witchfinder army are getting more bizarre by the episode." Episode 19.
And it's all about transparency, my dear, and being honest about how you feel. Are you quite all right, Crowley?
I'm sorry. I know. It's just funny.
Please, explain.
You talking about being honest about feelings of all people.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
Friends, we're not friends. Ringing any bells?
I was under quite a lot of stress at the time. You couldn't possibly understand how
You don't know what I can and can't understand.
We are not talking about that. We are talking about Emily from Glasgow's difficulty with her mother. Where was I? Anyway, yes, darling, you can't keep yourself in constant distress for the sake of propriety. Best to tell your mother how her habits have affected your state of mind. It might be hard to admit, and it might take some time, but the more you work at it, the more ready you'll be.
You could also just stop speaking to her forever. That might do the trick.
No, don't listen to him, listen to me. What? Oh. Haha, indeed.
Throwback.
Episode 20.
Next question. This one is from Jeff in Liverpool. Hello, Jeff. He says, I got my account banned from Twitter because I was replying constantly to various politicians telling them to suck a dog dick. Was this fair? How do I best appeal to get my account back? Oh, dear.
I like you, Jeff.
If it was against the rules, then you should probably appeal by saying you won't do it again.
Jeff, what I like most about you is that you made the words "suck a dog dick" come out of Aziraphale's mouth.
Although I suppose perhaps you don't need to be telling the truth when you say so.
I think you'll find your account has just been restored. Consider it a reward.
At Albon Pins tweets, "My life has improved immeasurably since I started imagining the voices of the at Ineffable Pod hosts in my head, arguing whenever I have a problem, TPQH. At Ineffable Pod replies,
Hey, Albon Pins. I win every time, right?
At Albon Pins replies, "Oh my god." You replied, "This is Crowley, right?" 'Cause if so, no. Sorry. Usually Aziraphale wins. At Ineffable Pod replies,
Ha! Good thing he doesn't know what Twitter is then. He does not need that kind of validation.
At Albon Pins replies, "LMFAO, I love you guys so much." Episode 21.
It's like those little flying friends.
Angel, you ruined me.
The ones with the spinny wheels.
Drones, Aziraphale. You're talking about drones.
Yes, those are the ones. She could send one up.
No, that is overkill. It'd be spotted in a second. You still know nothing about proper espionage after all this time.
Well, how would you suggest she see what's up there?
She could, get a really tall ladder.
And risk her neck?
Maybe a fishing pole with a camera on the end.
A series of well-placed mirrors.
Pose as a window washer. Moving on.
Tumblr user TinyGayMouse writes, "If you think about it, we literally sit here listening to these episodes over and over because we're trash, whereas neither of them probably bother doing that. Like they're real adults with real jobs, and this is just a fun little hobby for them, yeah? So here we are, picking up on all the stuff that probably flies right past them in the moment as they're recording. Hence our obsession with 'I loved your hair long' from episode 18, which Crowley didn't even seem to hear, or 'Angel, you ruined me' from this week, like... #ineffable husbands." User Punderground replies, "Crowley edits the show though, doesn't he? Wouldn't that require sitting through the episodes multiple times?" TinyGayMouse replies, "I mean, he's the one who posts the episodes because Aziraphale is computer illiterate, LMFAO. But if you listen, you can tell they're not edited at all, apart from adding in ad breaks sometimes and the theme song. To be honest, he seems like the kind of ADHD guy who doesn't have the attention span to sit down and edit an hour-long pod every week. Although, that may be me projecting." Punderground replies, "Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying. Is it crazy to headcanon that he just started the show so he could have another reason to sit and talk with Aziraphale, and the editing and posting is a total afterthought?" TinyGayMouse replies, "No, that's so valid. Honestly, real." Episode 22.
This one is from Brandon in York. Hello. He says, "My favorite t-shirt went missing this week. The only other person who's been in my flat has been my on-again, off-again girlfriend, who I'm currently not on great terms with. How should I ask her about this?"
Well, she obviously took it. Probably to get back at you for something you said.
Now, that's not fair. You probably just misplaced it. Crowley, must you assume the worst in everyone?
Of course I do, I'm a demon.
A rubbish excuse. You haven't been properly demonic in years.
What? What? Have you been keeping track of my evil level? Trying to figure out if I could be redeemed, if I could be worthy? Is that what you've been waiting for this whole time? Because if so, I've got some bad news for you.
That's not what I meant at all, you know.
Then what did you mean?
Crowley, it was a joke. What has gotten into you? Are you actively trying to pick a fight? On a radio program?
I'll cut this bit out.
No, don't.
You want people to hear this?
I want people to know that you're just fine as you are. I mean, more than fine. You're wonderful. And if you've ever thought you weren't, I can only imagine that's been my fault.
It's not your fault.
But I didn't help, did I? Oh, you deserved better.
Aziraphale, no. No. There's no one better. Let's get back to the advice, shall we?
Very well.
Tumblr user 15 Fears writes, "Not to rain on anyone's tin hat parade after that last episode's insanity of 'You're wonderful' and 'There's no one better.' But I feel like the initial argument implies they definitely still have shit to work out before they, get together. We know they've been friends forever, so both of them are probably just terrified of disturbing the status quo. #ineffable husbands. User Ineffable Spam replies, "Yeah, comfort is a hell of a drug." User Minty Meltronic replies, "And it's like we can pick apart the storyline / narrative of the show all we want. But even putting all the mythology stuff aside, it's clear that as people they genuinely care about each other and know each other best of anyone. Like, obviously they haven't really known each other since the Garden of Eden like they joked about back in episode 16, but don't you think that could be like a metaphor? To symbolize a level of real life devotion that exists? Or is that too galaxy brain of a take? Episode 24, Re-upload.
I mean, you can't have expected me to stay away from such a place. The last of the great libraries. Imagine hundreds of thousands of papyrus scrolls, all waiting to be transcribed and translated.
Better than heaven.
You can say that again.
Meanwhile, I was still stuck in Rome trying to... Oh, I don't even remember now. Oh, it was the Goths! The wretched Goths! Couldn't stand them. They smelled awful, do you know?
You should have called. Constantinople was very clean.
Maybe I should have.
Oh, look at the time.
You have somewhere to be?
I'm so sorry, my dear. I completely forgot. I scheduled a delivery for today back at the shop. The most beautiful illuminated manuscript coming in from France.
Right, cool. So I'll wrap up. We're just about done here anyways. Don't let me keep you.
Pip, we'll see you for lunch tomorrow. Yes?
Yeah, of course. See...
All we hear is Radio Gaga, Radio blah blah, Radio what's new. Someone still loves you.
The Ineffable Plan, Forum. Thread, Episode 24 Discussion. User Janzer99 posts, Hey, did anyone else see that episode 24 got re-uploaded? Was there something that got cut out? User Killian Crow writes, Yes, I noticed the re-upload, but it was so quick I'm not sure anyone caught it. User Marveloot replies, I just scrubbed through the whole thing looking for cuts, and I'm pretty sure whatever it was came right at the end after Aziraphale left. Otherwise someone would have caught it before it got taken down, if they started listening as soon as the episode went up. User Pepsi Koala replies, Guys, it's literally not that deep. Probably a bunch of dead air clogging up the end of the episode. Calm down. User Brian and Bats writes, Hey, anyone got a download of the uncut episode? I'm desperate. User Lesperado replies, The episode is a full hour of the purest Aziraphale and Crowley banter since number 17, with amazing history lessons and some wild-ass mythology hints. Like, Hastur as in King in Yellow Hastur? And you guys are complaining about a missing minute? Get some perspective. Meanwhile, in the Ineffapod Party House Discord server.
Guys. You know how everyone is looking for the uncut ending of episode 24?
Stop. Don't you dare.
Sammy, don't fuck with us right now. We are feral.
Vocaroo.com/I/SPP9MIFBE6I.
Warning. It's a lot.
Listening right now.
Just listen to that!
The same, I'm Crowley.
This cannot be real. How the fuck, Sammy?
Sammy, explain.
I'm a weirdo. So I have a bot that downloads the episodes directly onto a private server as soon as they hit the RSS feed. When Crowley re-uploaded, the old version stayed on my server.
Sammy, I'm freaking out! Did you post this anywhere?
No, I mean, you heard it, right? I can see why he took it down as soon as he realized it slipped through the edit.
Oh, yeah! What the fuck, 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 Crowley! Honey baby, oh my god!
I can't believe this is happening right now. I feel like I'm ascending out of my body, or discorporating, as they'd say on the show. I didn't know what that meant, but now I think I fucking do.
So, we're literally the only ones who've heard this?
As far as I can tell.
Holy shit!
Not to go crazy, go stupid, but somehow we need to get this to Aziraphale. He needs to hear this.
Dizzy, you read my fucking mind!
Ugh, he doesn't have an email or social media or anything, though. Like, that's his whole brand, so how do we even?
Too bad none of us live in London. We could visit the bookstore and play it for him. Although, knowing him, it probably wouldn't even be open.
Wait. Hold on. I'm, having an idea.
Oh, whoa?
Episode 26.
This one is from Casey in Chicago. They say, there are a bunch of adorable stray cats who live outside my house. They've started up howling together during the evenings, and it's very musical. How do I monetize this cat orchestra and turn it into the next big viral sensation? Oh, and that looks like a web link written out on the page.
An audio clip. Brilliant, I've got to hear these symphonic cats.
Here, can you type it in, my dear?
It's loading. Yeah, of course. See you tomorrow. Aziraphale. You are too much for me, Angel. Too damned much. I thought it would be enough to just sit with you without looking over our shoulders all the time. That was all I ever needed, wasn't it? But it's not enough. I want more. I want you. I wish I could look at you and you just know how much I love you. Without me having to speak. Maybe you do already, but if I open my mouth, I know it would come out twisted and wrong and burned like everything I am, and reach you a strangled and malformed thing. It wouldn't be good enough. The worst part is, I think, I know you don't want me to try anyway. But I can't. Fuck. Monologuing again. That happened. Trying to quit. Um, that wasn't meant to. I never meant you to.
Did you mean it?
Did I mean
That you love me?
would I lie to you?
No. You never would. You never have. You're right. You know. I did. I have wanted you to try. Can you try now?
But you already heard.
I want to hear it again. If it'll help, I do love you. Very much so. Crowley.
Aziraphale? Aziraphale. I love you.
It's still recording.
I'm kissing him now, dear listeners, for your information.
The Ineffable Plan. Forum. Thread. Episode 26 discussion. User Helmet Hair Hannah writes, honestly, I'm just so happy for them. What do you guys think of the conspiracy that Crowley leaked the true episode 24 ending on purpose to get a fan to do exactly what Casey did? User Killian Crow replies, a tempting theory, but a little overly convoluted. Didn't you hear how totally taken aback he was after the clip played? Like, he was legitimately worried for a sec that Aziraphale wouldn't, reciprocate. That's def's not the reaction of someone who'd orchestrated it all on purpose. And I think that makes it all that much more special to have witnessed. Helmet Hair Hannah writes, LOL at the idea of Aziraphale not reciprocating. As fucking if. They are in love. At Ineffable Pod tweets,
Hi, Casey Cole.
At Casey Cole replies,
Oh my god.
At Ineffable Pod replies,
Mwah.
Episode 27.
None of these seem to be actual questions, as it were.
What? What are they?
They're all letters of, well, congratulations.
Oh. That's...
Want to blush harder, dear? I don't think our listeners can hear it through.
Shut up!
Oh, here's a question from Ginny in San Antonio. Hello, darling, they say. I have a big crush on my best friend, but I'm scared to tell her. We already spend a lot of time together, and I know she's fond of me, but I'm just not sure either of us are ready. I haven't even held her hand yet. How do I make this go the way I want it to?
Well... This might be the only time we ever actually agree on advice to give out. Is there a Phil? Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Oh, yes. Dearest Ginny, you should most definitely start a podcast with her.
Archive of Our Own. 1 through 20 of 73 works in The Ineffable Plan, Podcast, RPF. This has been It's a New Craze by At the Border, as read by the Nice and Accurate Theater. Crowley was read by Ginny, Aziraphale was read by Cora, and assorted voices were provided by Whitney, Ambrose, and Freddie Mercury. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this fanfic reading, please subscribe to our YouTube and follow us on Tumblr at niceandaccuratetheater.tumblr.com. In addition to other podfics, you can also look forward to previews, bloopers, dubs, and bonus content. Once again, that is Nice and Accurate Theater on both YouTube and Tumblr.